Hey, friends!
We took a break from recording to discuss YouTube drama. It was mostly me because she didn't know anything about
I'm caught up. I knew nothing about it.
And I'm just over here like, well, so-and-so said so-and-so, such and such about so-and-so. I am a 34-year-old lady.
Oh, how's everybody's week going?
Anywho, I hope ours has been going well. Because,
right.
I think I said that in the last episode, but
at this point, this will go out on
it'll be the 31st because it's going out a day early. So, happy Tuesday! You're not seeing this on Wednesday or hearing this on Wednesday because we wanted it to come out on the actual day. So,
happy Halloween!
Yeah,
happy Samhain.
Marks the end of spooky season.
I'm sad about it.
I know.
I'm sad.
And also, this marks the end of the major pagan holidays for us.
Yeah.
Because next month,
I don't think that there's
as
anything.
of the recording of this, will be our 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
So
we're right there.
I know. I'm excited. Also, I've been periodically check the downloads. Just since we checked it earlier, there's been 5 more.
Nice. You guys are really popping off all of a sudden.
I know. It's really cool. It's really cool to watch. Let me see. Yeah, it's okay. It's the same. But yeah. I was like, holy shit.
You guys are popping off. And it's so exciting because, it's just exciting to see.
Yeah. Because, it feels like when you say, oh, we've been doing this a year and we have nearly 1,600 downloads or ish. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot more than I thought we would have.
Yes, because I really thought that this was only going to be
I was like, we're going to have 3 people listening to this podcast.
Right.
It's really cool. It's really cool to watch it grow.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying every minute of it.
For sure.
I almost said the F word.
We have made it all night without it, I think.
We can make it through this episode. We will be golden, and I don't have to mark them explicit.
We still said other words.
Yeah, I usually still do it. And I'm not because I listen to a lot of Last Podcast on the Left, and they have a lot of big name sponsors, and they drop the F-bomb all the time. So I'm sure we're probably fine, but at this point now it's a game of who says it first.
Right. But at no point we're not looking actively for sponsors. We don't get paid for this.
We don't get paid for this.
We don't get paid for this at all. If somebody wants to sponsor us, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
But
or if something company I don't know, HelloFresh wants to send us meals.
Yeah.
And give us a coupon code or something.
Right.
I'm absolutely down for that.
We'll do cute coupon codes. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Or what is that, the hair story or whatever that Shane does?
Oh, I don't know. But his hair looks great.
I would try it. I'm here for it.
Me, I'm just using my Pantene over here. My hair looks worse than it's ever looked.
I'm always down for some good hair product, good shampoo. Well, I say hair product. I'm here for good shampoo and conditioner because that's about the only product that I use for my hair.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Reminds me. So when we went to Target last for our girls' day?
Yeah.
And I bought that Coco Colada body wash. Can't use it.
Why?
I can't use any scented body washes now because my eczema, when we got back from that trip and I used that for the first time, my eczema was up my legs. It was so bad.
Oh.
And anything else that's been scented that I've used makes it flare up really, really bad. So I'm
dang.
I got Ceraphil or whatever, unscented, ultra, hypoallergenic, all the what's-its. It stinks. But then I'll still use the sugar scrubs though, but I use it upon my upper body because I haven't had any issues. But it was all over my legs. It was so bad. And it was so itchy. And I've got 2 spots right under my temples where it's flaring up.
Well, if you still got it, I know a girl that might be interested.
You can have it if you want it. You can. It's still full. Like, I only used it that one time, and then I was like, never again.
Nice. I like it when Brittany experiments with beauty products, because if it doesn't work out for her, then I usually reap the benefits.
I love the Tree Hut stuff, and I used the watermelon one until the bottle was empty. And
maybe it's just that one kind.
Maybe, I don't know. But like, also there's a Walmart brand one. It's not Walmart brand, but like, it's a brand that Walmart carries, and they've got like lotions and hand soap and sanitizer stuff that also goes along with those collections. And that one also just made it so much worse. Like, if like, it started to clear up because I was using just Dial soap, and then I switched to this other one, and it right back, and I was like, ooh.
Lord.
Anyways, what are we here for? Not to hear about my eczema, right?
We this week, because Samhain, we're going to talk to you about Samhain.
Samhain. You may have seen it spelled Samhain.
Yeah.
You see it and you're like, is that Samhain? No, it's Samhain.
It's Samhain. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
It makes me feel all warm and cozy inside.
I think, and tell me if I'm wrong here.
You're wrong.
Even though it's not rude, even though it's not like late in the night like it usually is, like, I feel like we've kind of slowly descended into madness as we've recorded these episodes.
Yeah, I like how you were like, oh yeah, you should still be home by 10 o'clock. It is 9:30.
Maybe 10:30. Maybe I was generous. So anyway, Samhain. For the ancient Celts, Samhain, I almost said Samhain. Samhain was the most significant of the 4 quarterly fire festivals, which took place between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. During this time of year, hearth fires in family homes were left to burn out while the harvest was gathered. Once the harvest work was completed, celebrants would join the Druid priests to light a community fire using a wheel that would cause friction and spark flames. The wheel was considered to be a representation of the sun and used along with prayers. Cattle were sacrificed, and participants would take a flame from the communal bonfire back to their home to relight their hearth. Some ancient texts seem to allude to Samhain being a mandatory celebration that lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and the community was required to show themselves to local kings or chieftains. Failure to participate was believed to result in punishment from the gods, usually resulting in illness or death. In Ireland, there was also a military aspect to Samhain, with holiday thrones prepared for commanders of soldiers. Anyone who committed a crime or used their weapons during the Samhain celebrations were faced with a death sentence. The Celts believed that the barrier between worlds was breachable during Samhain, and they would prepare offerings that were left outside the villages and fields for fairies. It was expected that ancestors might cross over during this time as well, and the Celts would dress as animals and monsters so that fairies were not tempted to kidnap them. Some of the monsters that were associated with the mythology of Samhain include a shape-shifting creature called Puka that receives harvest offerings from the field. The Lady Gwen is a headless woman dressed in white who chases night wanderers and was accompanied by a black pig. The Dullahan or Dark Man sometimes appears as impish creatures, sometimes headless men on horses who carried their own heads. Riding flame-eyed horses, I think. Their appearance was a death omen to anyone who encountered them. A group of hunters that were known as the Fairy Host might also haunt Samhain and kidnap people. Similar to the Fairy Host are the Slough, which would come from the west to enter the houses and steal souls. During Samhain celebrations, there would be tales shared, one of the most popular being the Second Battle of I don't know. Do you have a guess?
Tirid,
which portrayed the final conflict between the Celts pantheon known as the Tuatha De Danann? Danann?
Okay.
And evil oppressors known as the Fomor. The myths state that the battle unfolded over the period of Samhain. One of the most famous Samhain-related tales is the Adventures of Nera, which tells of the hero Nera who encounters a corpse and fairies and enters into the otherworld. During the Middle Ages, the celebrations of the fire festivals continued. Bonfires known as SamghnaGans, which I cannot pronounce and could not find anything online to tell me how it is pronounced. But all I can see is the word shenanigans. Anyway, they were more personal fires near the farms, and they became a tradition purportedly to protect families and fairies and witches, or from fairies and witches. It was also during this time that jack-o'-lanterns began to appear, and were carved turnips, and they would be attached to strings and embedded with coal. Later, Irish tradition would switch to pumpkins. In Ireland and Scotland, the myth of Stingy Jack told of a man who played tricks on the devil. Upon his death, he wasn't allowed to enter into either heaven or hell due to his questionable behavior. Questionable. The devil sent him off with nothing but a piece of coal to light his way. So Jack made a lantern of sorts with the burning coal by placing it in a carved out pumpkin, and he has roamed the earth ever since with his lantern. With this myth came the tradition of carving scary faces into turnips and potatoes and turning them into jack-o'-lanterns as a meaning of scaring off Stingy Jack and other spirits during Samhain, when the worlds of the living and the dead collide. In Wales, men would toss burning wood at each other in violent games and set off fireworks.
What?
In northern England, men paraded with noisemakers. That seems much more reasonable.
Right.
It was also during this time where the tradition of dumb supper began, in which food was consumed by celebrants, but only after inviting ancestors to join in, giving the families the opportunity to interact with the spirits until they left following the meal. It was also common for children to play games to entertain the dead, while the adults would update the dead on the past year's news. That night, doors and windows may be left open for the dead to come in and eat cakes that had been left for them. But as Christianity gained a foothold in pagan communities, church leaders attempted to reframe Samhain as a Christian celebration. The first attempt was by Pope Boniface in the 5th century, and he moved the celebration to May 13th and specified it as a day celebrating saints and martyrs. As you can imagine, the fire festivals October and November did not end with his decree. In the 9th century, Pope Gregory moved the celebration back to the time frame of the fire festivals, but declared it All Saints' Day on November 1st. And All Souls' Day would follow on November 2nd. Neither of these holidays did away with the pagan aspects of the celebration, and October 31st became known as All Hallows' Eve, or Halloween, and contained much of the traditional pagan practices before being adopted in 19th century America through Irish immigrants who brought their traditions across the ocean. Trick-or-treating is said to have derived from ancient Irish and Scottish practices in the nights leading up to Samhain. And in Ireland, mumming was the practice of putting on costumes, going door to door, and singing songs to the dead. Halloween pranks have also been a tradition in Samhain, though in the ancient celebration, the tricks were often blamed on fairies. With the growing popularity of Wicca in the 1980s, there was a revival of Samhain that better resembled its traditional pagan form. And the Wiccan celebration of Samhain takes on many forms, from the traditional fire ceremonies that embrace many aspects of modern Halloween, as well as activities related to honoring nature and ancestors. Wiccans look at Samhain as the passing of the year and incorporate many common Wiccan traditions into the celebration. For example, they build altars with many parts. To symbolize the end of the harvest, they include apples, pumpkins, or other fall crops. To represent the dead, skulls or skeletons are placed on the altar, and photos of deceased family members are also added. And some Wiccans will bake loaves of special Samhain bread for their altar to feed visiting spirits. It is also common for Wiccan families to cast a circle and think of their deceased loved ones. As part of the ritual, they will share stories of their ancestors, and some families will instead choose to visit the cemetery to honor their family members. In the Druid tradition, Samhain celebrates the dead with a festival on October 31st, and typically features a bonfire and communion with the dead. American pagans will often hold music and dance celebrations, which is often called a witch's ball, in proximity to Samhain. And I think I've seen like a couple of little like ads for, or like Facebook push, suggested posts about a witch's ball. There are modern day pagans who embrace the Celtic traditions with the intent of reintroducing them faithfully into modern paganism, and they call themselves Celtic Reconstructionists. In this tradition, Samhain is called Iha Hauna Hana Jiwe, I think.
Sorry, I was writing a thing.
Oh, you're good. It doesn't look how it's pronounced.
No, and
but
that's like an Irish thing.
Yeah, it's a Celtic name, which is Happy Halloween in the Irish language. This tradition celebrates the mating between Tuatha De Danann, gods Dagda and River Unis. Celtic Reconstructionists celebrate by placing juniper decorations around their homes and creating an altar for the dead where a feast is held in honor of deceased loved ones. And that's what I have. That's the history ish of Samhain. I'm sure that it's a lot more in depth than that, but that was what I was able to.
Right. Now, I did pick up and elaborate on some of the things that you talked about, though.
That's totally fine.
So I'm going to talk a little bit of the celebration, how to celebrate, and food, like I normally will do. In today's times, Samhain has become something that the ancestors would have never predicted. It's become a commercialized holiday, and boy, does capitalism cash in.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, and it reminds me, capitalism's really popping off today. Wasn't that a TikTok thing for a little bit?
Yeah.
Everyone is dressing up, throwing parties, posting pics on the Instagram, and living their best spooky season lives. I personally see Samhain as the grand finale to spooky season.
Yeah.
I do throw a party. We've talked about it, and I have for the past 3 or 4 years. My party is, however, more kid-centered.
Yeah.
It was honestly started as a safer alternative to trick-or-treating at the beginning of the COVID era, as I like to call it. We do, like, everybody... It started out as, like, just family, and, you know, I say family. Brittany came, but Brittany is considered family.
Yeah. I don't even think... Danny didn't even come with me that year.
I don't think so.
I don't think he came with me the first 2 years, because he was, like... He didn't really know anybody,
right.
and It was just, he felt weird about it.
Right.
So
we basically just invited family, and it was a safer alternative because we knew where we had been. Yeah. And so we would all buy a bag of candy, and the candy was opened right there in front of us, you know, and the kids just kind of walked around in a circle. We all sat in a circle, and the kids just kind of walked around, and when I say they cashed in, they cashed in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They do every year.
Yeah.
There's so much candy. So much. Like, kids are dumping their huge buckets into bigger bags and going back around and filling up again. It's ridiculous. But anyway, let's get into how one can celebrate Samhain in a more traditional sense. It's all about honoring the ancestors. The veil between the living and the other side is at its thinnest, so communication and connection is so much easier. The end of October is when all of the natural world around us starts dying. The nights are getting longer, the leaves are falling off the trees, animals are brought in from the fields, and the harvest is gathered. At this point, we are getting ready for the winter months. It's understood by all that death and birth are both equally important in the life cycle. Though we see death as a sad, negative thing now, our ancestors were more aware of how important it was. So since we know that this is a time that is all about honoring the ancestors, it only makes sense that this is a great time for reflection. We reflect on all of our memories and stories that we know of our dearly departed. Just the same, we should reflect on where we've been in the past year and how far we've come. So, as we are taking this time to reflect, write down the habits or feelings or maybe even people or whatever it may be that you want to let go of in the next year. Burn this list in your Samhain fire as you say out loud your intentions. Then you can list out all the things that you want to bring in and make happen in the next year. Manifest that shit. You can either share this with family or friends or keep it to yourself, but make it fun. Have a feast. Invite all of your friends and family and have a potluck. While you're making your plates, don't forget to set a memory table to honor the loved ones that aren't able to be there with you. Decorate it with pictures, drawings, things they liked. Make it pretty. But on the night of the feast, light a candle and fix them a plate too. Now, as Brittany said, because I actually read yours before I wrote mine, this was originally a Celtic festival that lasted 3 days. Make a weekend of the festivities. Host a dance party, a feast, and then just fellowship time or ritual time. Go for a walk or run in the autumn air. Give thanks to the beautiful world around you. Do this however you feel comfortable. Just appreciate the beauty that surrounds you. This time of year, to me at least, is the most beautiful. Mm-hmm. As the leaves are dying, there's a beauty to be appreciated in the colors that they turn. Nature really pops off this time of year with the aesthetics. My favorite thing to do this time of year is a bonfire, roasting marshmallows, making s'mores, gazing into the flames. It's just honestly magical. It just feels magical all the time.
And there's like something to be said about just like a group of people getting together around a bonfire. Oh, yeah. And there's like all the little different conversations going on, and it's a whole ass vibe.
It is. But before we can do all this celebrating, you need to ready your space. What is the first thing I think of when I think about fall? Spooky season. What's the first thing I think of when I think about spooky season? My decorations. Decorate your shit. You can start this or add to your collection by having a craft day and making your own.
That would be cool.
Right? Go outside and get some beautiful leaves. Make something with those. String some acorns on a necklace. Make beds for fairies and nutshells. Be careful with that shit. Yeah. Put that shit far away from the house.
Yeah.
Like on the far corner of the house, so they don't come in your house and mess with stuff.
Like it does. When I find like shiny little rocks right in front
the other day
on my front porch.
The other day at soccer practice, I went into the bathroom, and there was a random acorn on the little toilet paper thing in the stall, and I was like, now I know logically a child found it and put it there.
Yeah,
but I'm like, it was a fairy,
right? The little fairies.
I did not touch it. Didn't even come close.
I would have left it alone. And I've told Danny, if you're out there in the yard and you see a shiny little rock, no you didn't.
Leave it alone. Carve a damn pumpkin.
I just don't like the way pumpkins smell.
I do. I love it.
It's kind of stinky.
But anyway, possibilities are literally endless for making your own decorations. If you enjoy doing things that are a little more personal and alone, you can, if you can do it safely, you can light a white 7-day candle and put it in your window to guide the dead to the spirit world. As you light it, this is one of those ritualistic things. Mm-hmm. As you light it, speak these words. O little flame that burns so bright, be a beacon on this night, light the path for all the dead, that they may see now what's ahead, and lead them to the summerland, and shine until Pan takes their hands, and with your light, please bring them peace, that they may rest and sleep with ease. You could also go visit a cemetery, like Brittany said, honor the dead, reflect on your memories, and think of the ways that your loved ones live on in you. That I couldn't figure out a way to not make that sound dirty. Live on in you, you know?
Well, it's like just imagining like their blood flows through your veins.
Well, yes, and the traits that you have that are reflective of them. For instance, my dad's mom's favorite cuss word was shit. I say that all the time. Make sure you bring them offerings, things like fresh flowers, dried herbs, fresh water, place it on their headstone. Yeah. Make a whole deal out of it. I wanted to kind of mention, I haven't done this as much in the past, and I didn't really break down what any of these really mean. But never fear, it's a quick Google search away for you guys. Crystals that are good for this holiday. Smoky quartz, amber, obsidian, pyrite, onyx, carnelian, and turquoise. Colors that are big for this time of year. As one could guess, this is a pretty spot on list for what you would guess.
Let me guess.
Okay.
Hot pink? It's orange, isn't it?
Black, brown, yellow, purple, gold, silver, and red.
Not a single orange.
No.
That is not at all.
That you didn't think?
No, I was just messing with you with the hot pink. But
well, I mean, I
was serious with the orange.
Right. Symbols for this holiday: bats, cats, blackbirds, and cauldrons.
Yeah. Flowers
are calendula, whatever.
I think it's calendulas.
Okay. Sunflowers, wild ginseng, and wormwood. Deities, if you do deity work. Ishtar, the horned god. Orsis, my personal favorite. Loki. Persephone, Ceranos, I think that's how you say that. And Dionysus. Herbs, disclaimer. Please research these before you use them so that you can use them safely if you are cooking with them.
Yeah. Don't accidentally poison yourself or something.
Please research. Allspice, berries, broom, whatever that is, catnip, mountain ash berries, mugwort, mullein, mullein, oak leaves, acorns, rosemary, sage, pine cones, and straw. So, now we're getting into food. And I think, yes, this is the last little section that I have for this. This is kind of a short episode.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Brittany mentioned a dumb supper. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to expand on that to kind of explain.
Please do.
I had heard about a dumb supper on the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour podcast a while ago. It's one of their early episodes.
Yeah.
But the dumb supper ceremony is one where a meal is shared, but all attendees are silent. Oh. This is traditionally held on Samhain night. A place is made for loved ones who have passed on, and an empty seat is left for them to rest as they enjoy a feast. In this feast, you would make sure to include the things that the deceased love. The silence allows the living to invite and commune with the spirits and allows them to share their presence while the veil is so thin. While honoring your past loved ones, if you work with any deities, make sure to include them in on this meal as well. When the table is all set and everyone gathers around the table, before anyone eats or drinks, you would say, "Tonight is the first of 3 nights in which we celebrate Samhain. It is the end of the harvest, the last days of summer, and the cold nights wait on the other side for us. The bounty of our labor, the abundance of our harvest, and the end, and
You typed "and the" twice.
I see that, and the success of the hunt all lie before us. We thank the earth for all it has given us this season, and yet we look forward to winter, a time of sacred darkness. Then you take a cup of cider or wine and take everyone outside. Find either a grassy spot or go to your garden, if you have one. And then each person will take the cup in turn and sprinkle a little cider or wine on the ground, saying, "Summer is gone, winter is coming." All I can think of is Game of Thrones. We have planted and we have watched the garden grow. We have weeded and we have gathered the harvest. Now it is at its end. At this point, you would take some grass trimmings or dead plants and make a straw man or woman that would represent either the king of winter and rule your home until spring returns, or the goddess as a witchy hag or crone in the winter. Once you are done with that, go back inside and bring the doll with you. Put it on the table propped up with a plate of its own. When you serve the food, serve it first. Then, begin the silent meal with breaking bread. Make sure that when you're done with the meal to share some of the crumbs of the bread with the birds outside, and any other leftovers that you have can be left in your garden as another offering for the dead. You want to make sure that you keep this doll that you made in a place of honor all seasons long, and then you return it outside in the spring to watch over your garden. And then at Beltane, burn it in your Beltane celebration. So, foods that are good for this celebration: apples, pumpkins, roasted game birds, cider, dark wine, pears, root veggies. Not really on purpose, but on purpose. Brittany and I had apple pie earlier.
Yeah.
I also brought over some apple cider that she tried for what she thinks is the first time.
I'm pretty sure it's the first time. I don't think I've ever had it before.
It wasn't the right brand.
I bet it would be good warm. Like,
yeah.
A warm apple cider. I think that would be good.
You have a Keurig, yeah?
Yeah, but it's kind of shitty.
Well,
it's about to croak.
They make K-cups for apple cider.
Ooh.
That you can get.
Yeah.
I've gotten them before. But like I said, the brand that I got was not the good brand.
Yeah.
They didn't have it at Food Line this year. You can get it at Walmart. We didn't go on the field trip like I thought we were going to because I decided it wasn't that important. Instead, we went on a field trip to my mom's to eat some smoked meat. But anyway, some traditional dishes that you can make. Soul cakes, which I found interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the most popular foods, originally used as an act of charity given to the poor from the rich, particularly in the British Isles. The poor would go to the wealthy and ask for food or money in return, and then in return they would pray for the rich people's dead loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Now this dish will vary depending on where you get them. It can either be like a biscuit or it can be more like a cake. But most recipes do include dried fruit and spices. Wassail. We mentioned that, I think, for Yule.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
You didn't know how to pronounce it, and I had to tell you.
I don't know how to pronounce half of this shit.
This is generally associated with Yule, but it is a traditional part of Samhain, too. The tradition of wassailing was when guests would get a good buzz going and then go throw rocks into apple orchards to scare off the fae and drink to the tree's health. Wassail is a fruity and sweet mulled cider punch, typically made with apple cider, orange juice, and spices, which sounds delectable.
That does sound good.
It can be leaded or unleaded. Your call. You do what you want.
Leaded for me, please.
Right. The next one is barmbrack, I believe. It's an Irish bread. It's mildly sweet with dried fruits like raisins and flavored with fresh citrus zest. It's often baked with trinkets inside, which reminds me of a king cake. This is like a form of fortune telling. If you got a ring, it would predict marriage. Coins for wealth. Cloth means hard times. And a dry pea shows that you ain't getting married this year. Those are just traditional items, but you can put whatever you want to predict whatever you think it should be. Just make sure to warn everybody to eat gently and wrap the items in parchment paper.
You don't want to accidentally choke your friends.
Right, or break a tooth.
Yeah, that too.
Coal cannon. I feel like we mentioned this in something else too.
Yeah.
It's a staple for Samhain. Because it's seasoned for all of the ingredients. It's basically just mashed potatoes. It's creamy mashed potato based with cooked greens, typically cabbage or kale, and sometimes onions.
I discovered something the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I've been eating better.
Yeah.
Hate kale. It's disgusting.
We talked about that the other day, didn't
yeah.
we? Other recipes that need no description, generally. Butternut lasagna with mushrooms and sage. Sounds awful.
It does kind of sound gross.
I do enjoy a good butternut squash.
Not me.
But I do not enjoy mushrooms.
I don't mind them. Depends on how they're cooked. If they're slimy, I don't want them. Which, fried mushrooms tend to be slimy. I don't like it.
I I will put onion mushroom soup mix in some things, but, they're chopped so small that I don't realize they're there.
Well, it's even, cream of mushroom soup.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
Because, my version of Swedish meatballs that I make in the crock pot, it calls for a can of cream of mushroom soup.
The next thing is cranberry crock pot pork loin. That sounds delightful. Shepherd's pie. I've never had shepherd's pie. I've always wanted to try it, and I've never had it.
I think I have. I think my dad, because my dad he's a Anglophile, and he's raised an Anglophile, which is somebody who's obsessed with British culture, and so I'm pretty sure he's made one. With, I think it was just ground beef, because I think it's traditionally made with lamb.
Yeah.
And I don't like lamb.
And I've never had it.
I don't like the idea of eating a baby sheep.
Yes, that's me.
But and I've also had lamb off the bone, and I just didn't like it. And it made me feel weird. So, but yeah, I think I've had one.
Maybe we should make one night.
Ooh,
there's an Irish pub type restaurant somewhere. I forget what it's called, in Nashville.
Are you trying to fart?
No, kinda. No.
You're oddly leaning
now
forward.
That I'm thinking about it, I kind of feel like it could have happened, but it's not. But there's an Irish pub type restaurant somewhere in Nashville, and I forget the name of it. My parents have gone several times, but they say it's really good. That they have shepherd's pie there. Where is my
Irish pub Nashville?
You say the name of it. I don't know.
Is it McNamara's?
Yes.
I've been there.
I've not.
That's where I got that drink that sounded foul, but it ended up being so good. It was rum chata, so it's a creamy, with orange juice. Sounds disgusting. And even the waitress was like, "Let me know how this is," because I wanted pineapple juice and
I remember you telling me about this.
And they were
this wasn't that long ago, was it?
No, it wasn't that long ago. And the waitress was like, "Unfortunately, we do not have coconut rum, but we do have rum chata." And I was like, that can't be that bad with pineapple juice. And then she comes back and she goes, "I'm sorry, we also do not have pineapple juice, but we have orange juice." And I was like, "I'll try it."
Right.
And she brought it, and I was like, "Ooh, this is so good." I had two, and I never, when I go out to eat, I never have two drinks.
Yeah.
I seldom even have a drink.
The next one is pork chops with apples and garlic mashed potatoes. I do like the apple pork chop combination. I've seen pork chops be made with apple butter. I like it.
I don't know that I've ever had anything
it's so good.
Like that. I'm not a pork chop eater, though. Unless it's the little thin ones.
Yeah, that's generally what we buy.
Because, the ones with the bone in them.
Yeah, I can't.
Piss me. Ugh.
Rosemary garlic chicken quarters. That sounds good. Roast chicken with fennel. Parsnips and scallions. pot roast. I love a good pot roast.
I love pot roast. I haven't made one in forever.
I love the way my house smells when I make a good pot roast.
The only thing is that, because I used to get the kits at Walmart.
That's what I usually get.
They're so expensive.
They are.
Because, like, they used to be, like, $20, and that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they are now.
I'll have to... They are, because I started making them, like, last year. I didn't know if TJ would like them or not, so I made one, like, on a night when he was not going to be home. Because I thought the kids might enjoy it for something different. Plus, it was easy and in crock pot, and it was fall, and it made my house smell nice, and my house was clean, and it was one of those fantastic
perfect
days.
Fall days.
But it was so good. And I later found out that he doesn't mind a pot roast. TJ's very picky. If you as listeners don't know, my husband is very picky when it comes to eating. He has very picky taste.
It's just fine.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm very tired of eating the same things over and over because I can't. I don't know. I don't want to. He urges me to try new things, and he's like, "I'll try it."
Yeah.
But I'm like, "But what if you don't like it and then you're hungry?" That's what bothers me.
Yeah.
I want to try new things, but the fear of him not liking it and being hungry or having to fend for himself for food when I should have provided. That's what bothers me the most.
Right. But, like, I've been in a relationship with a picky eater who I think it was way worse. Because it was like he ate the same 3 things and would not diverge from them. And it was frustrating because I like to eat other stuff. But anyway, so now I'm with somebody who will eat just about anything.
Yeah, I've not seen
anything. And
anything
I have
that
realized that I am the picky eater in this situation. Because, like, he'll be like, "Oh, have you ever had this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's disgusting." And he's like, "No, it's not. It's fine." And I'm like, gross. Or, like, asparagus. I've never had asparagus, but I imagine that it tastes like piss.
I don't know that I've ever had asparagus.
I don't know. My Nana always gets it on her grocery order. I should steal a can and eat one.
Right. So the next one is cheeseburger soup.
Ooh.
Right. Cold cannon soup. I kind of want to look into that.
Yeah.
Like mashed potatoes in soup form?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a potato soup with like greens
cool.
and stuff in it.
That'd be nice. I like a potato soup.
Right. My mom makes best potato soup ever.
I grew up on the Campbell's like cream and potato soup, mixing it with some milk. Oh, it's not good.
I'll have to make you my mom's version of potato soup.
Like it's not great, and it's white.
Like, mom's is white.
Like there's like no other color to it. It's just all white.
I mean, mom's is seasoned.
Yeah.
But it's white, but it is so good.
Yeah.
Chili.
I like chili.
I love chili. So in our house, said picky eater, thinks that the only time he wants to eat chili, and weirdly chicken and dumplings, is when it's cold outside.
I get it.
I do.
I could eat chili anytime.
Yeah.
But like I prefer it when it's it's chilly outside.
My middle child loves chili.
Yeah.
And asks for it year round, and I'm like, no, it's hot outside. We can't eat chili when it's hot outside.
Right.
I understand. I do get it.
Yeah.
But man, chili is so easy because I literally just throw it all in the crock pot and let it go.
Right.
But we are actually having chili like this coming week because Gemma asked for it, and I was like, sounds great.
Yeah.
It's easy, and it's a baseball night, so all I got to do is get up and put that in the crock pot while I'm on lunch or something, and we're good. And my house smells good. Beef stew.
I like beef stew.
I haven't had beef stew in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I do like beef stew.
But
now I don't really eat a whole lot of beef, so.
TJ doesn't like soups, so we don't do soups in our house.
I love soup. It'll be 100 degrees outside. I'll be eating soup.
Right. Dessert-like things. These sound fantastic. Apple caramel cheesecake bars.
Ooh.
Apple crisp blondies.
What's a blondie?
It's like a brownie type thing.
Oh.
Apple pie. Spice cake. Brown butter caramel Rice Krispie treats. I want to look at this.
I could get behind that.
Yeah. Cinnamon apples. Love a good cinnamon apple. Pumpkin cookies with cream cheese frosting.
That sounds good.
Spice fairy cakes. And then white chocolate pumpkin snickerdoodles, which you don't like snickerdoodles, so.
No.
With all this, you can wash it down with apple cider floats. So, like, throw some ice cream in that.
That sounds interesting.
It does. Sparkling cider. I didn't look into this, but I figure you might know what it is. Harry Potter pumpkin juice.
Yes. I know of it because it's in the Harry Potter books. But, like, I've never seen where anybody's, like, made it or anything.
Well, one of the links has a recipe.
Because, like, the two main drinks in the Harry Potter series are pumpkin juice and butterbeer.
Right. Mulled apple cider, pumpkin spice, white hot chocolate, pomegranate spritzer, and a s'mores latte.
Oh.
That sounds fantastic.
See, I love s'mores. Like, I love a good s'more.
S'mores.
But I don't like s'more flavored things.
Yeah, it's touch and go.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate flavored things.
Yeah. Or it just tastes like marshmallows.
Yeah. And white chocolate too. Like I mentioned, what was it? White pumpkin spice white hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
White chocolate.
Like
it's been okay. White chocolate for me always has tasted like fake chocolate.
Yeah,
but the older I get, the more I'm like, I kind of like white chocolate.
Yeah, like I used to love those like cookies and cream bars.
Yes.
And then one day I like ate one and I was like, this is low-key gross. And like I decided, I was like, I don't like white chocolate.
Well, there was I think it was a Starbucks drink that I got at one point in time, like in the Frappuccino glass bottles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a toasted white chocolate something or another.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it was so good.
What did I get? What did I get last time we went? It was an iced white mocha latte, I think.
Well, last time I got up, I did the basic white girl thing and got a pumpkin spice iced pumpkin spice latte.
Nice.
Gemma was at home that day. It was a Friday, and I typically try to get off work early on Fridays. I'll work extra through the week so I can get off early on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And Gemma had come home from school the night before and her voice was very, very hoarse.
Yeah.
And like this was like last week. Her voice was very, very hoarse, and like it just continually got worse.
Mm.
And she said that she felt fine. She said that her throat was a little sore the next morning, but like she also snores. So
yeah.
But she had like barely any voice when she got up the next day, and so I was like, okay, well, I had called that Thursday night and scheduled her a doctor's appointment for Friday because I was like, she just got done with strep.
Yeah.
And I was like, here we go again. No, it was Easton that just got done with strep. And I was like, here we go again. Because Gemma likes to get mysterious viruses that no one has an answer for. So I was like, we'll just go ahead and take her. So TJ took her to the doctor the next morning. Literally nothing, just allergies. They tested her for strep. They tested her for flu. They tested her for COVID. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just allergies.
Honestly, relatable.
Right.
Because, like, especially I would say the past 2 weeks, my allergies have been awful.
Yes. And I started getting better about giving her and Easton, because Easton, Friday night, his eyes started looking like he had pink eye, which that's what he does when he gets allergies. So, was it Friday night or Saturday? I think it was Saturday. But anyway, so Friday, Gemma had stayed home from school to go to the doctor. And so TJ had told her, without me knowing, that because I had planned and I voiced it, that like before Gemma came home sick, I was going to clock out early on Friday and I was going to drive all the way to West Nashville to Starbucks, get me a drink, and then drive all the way back and just enjoy that time by myself and treat myself with Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so then Gemma was sick, and so I was like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I had said to TJ, because it never fails, if I plan on getting off work early, something comes up and I can't really take advantage of it.
Right.
So TJ had told Gemma, if you have to get a shot today, I'll make Mom take you to Starbucks because she's bougie like that.
Rude.
So she didn't have to get a shot, and he never said anything to me about it. Yeah. But I decided, I was like, okay, I'll take her to Dunkin' because we have a Dunkin' closer than a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take her to Dunkin'. They've got that iced hot chocolate thing.
Yeah.
It's not iced. It's like a Frappuccino, but it's like hot chocolate flavored. So I was like, I'll take her and get her one of those just because, you know, she's homesick. We'll treat her a little bit.
Yeah.
So we went there and I got my iced PSL. And it was okay. It wasn't great.
I always get the iced caramel craze signature latte.
See? I don't know. And Gemma was like, this is good, but
it just tastes like sugar.
Gemma was like, this is good, but then she said words that I never thought I would hear come out of her mouth. She was like, it's too chocolatey.
Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah.
And like, if you ordered it again, it wouldn't be the same.
No.
Especially not from that Dunkin' Donuts.
No. But we had like the greatest afternoon. And when I got off work, we ran to Dunkin'. We got our drinks. We came back into town. We went to Walgreens to pick up some allergy medicine. And I had to pick up some medicine that TJ had there. And then while we were at Walgreens, we perused through their Halloween section. And I got a skeleton duck.
Nice.
And then we went to Tractor Supply because Easton needed a new pair of overalls.
Yeah.
And so TJ always tells us when we go to Tractor Supply without him that we're not allowed to get ducks. Like, we're not allowed to get ducks when he's with us. But, like, the kids always want to stop and look at the ducks and chickens and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't come home with one. So then, like, I took a picture of Easton's overalls while we were standing in line to show him that we were in Tractor Supply. And I was like, oh, hi, hey, by the way, got a duck. And he was like... The word that we don't say on this podcast. No, you didn't.
Right. See, my toxic trait is I would have turned my phone off.
And I was like, but we totally did. And he was like, you better not have. And then I took a picture of the duck skeleton. And I was like, see, told you. So, but he also brought home my toxic trait. I have an addiction to skeleton animals. He brought home the other day... I forget where he said he got them. Kroger, maybe. It was a skeleton. There was two of them. One of them was a unicorn, and it is the cutest ever. Oh, and the other one was like a Frankenstein type character. Oh. It was so cute. Also, Food Line has Halloween cups.
I haven't been in Food Line in forever.
They have cute little Halloween cups.
Nice.
They're like $2 a piece, and there's 3 different ones, and I got all 3 of them last night because, you know... I have a problem. But, so yeah, that's what I've got.
Alright.
That's what I've got. What do we usually have as far as food at my party?
It's usually like an amalgamation of like a bunch of different stuff.
Right.
So like, you make chili.
Yeah.
Your mom makes goulash.
Which, for those of you who don't know, because there is a difference in what people say is goulash. Our goulash is like... macaroni and tomatoes with hamburger meat and
That's
onions.
What I grew up calling mulligan. I don't know. It was mulligan.
Okay.
I've said that to other people and they're like,
what?
What is that?
Right.
I'm going to Google it, see if that's a thing. But like, and then like I've made cupcakes. Other people have made cupcakes.
Oh man, those cupcakes that Savannah's mom always brings.
Rotel dip.
Yeah. There's always like a shit ton of cookies. And
okay, so mulligan is technically like a stew. It's like an Irish thing.
We always have hot dogs and stuff too.
Yeah, there's always hot dogs, stuff for s'mores.
Yeah. Candy out the wazoo.
Yeah, candy. I brought like a cooler full of drinks last year.
TJ's aunt always brings like that Oreo dirt cake stuff.
Yeah.
I think somebody brought that last year and made it look like a little cemetery, and it was so cute with with a little skeleton that now sits on my computer desk.
Yeah. I made the pumpkin pie dip.
Oh, that was so good. That
was the first time I made it.
That was so good.
I don't know. There's always it's different every year. Like last year, somebody brought donuts, like Food Line donuts.
Yeah.
Was that you?
No.
Oh, do you know who it was?
Yeah. Look,
am I calling somebody out that's on this?
No. No, I'm not disappointed in it whatsoever.
It was just random.
Yeah, it was. I was, because they walked in with them and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, somebody usually brings, cookies or something, a small box of cookies. It's always, some different stuff.
It's a Mod Podge of culinary.
And, I find myself, skittering off to the kitchen quite frequently.
Right.
I'll just, get, a bowl of goulash, or I'll get a bowl of chili.
Chips. Lots of chips.
Danny really enjoyed it last year. He was, running around. He was like, this food is so good. And, all the food.
Laughing at all the children.
Yeah. He got to participate in the trick-or-treating ring.
Yeah.
That's, just pure, absolute, it's
chaos.
It's chaos.
But it's so fun.
And it gets, I think we buy more candy every year.
Yeah.
And, because I know me and him both each had, huge bags of candy.
Yeah.
Because, I started buying, treats and stuff, a month in advance.
Yeah.
And was filling up, tote bags. So we each had a tote bag full of random stuff. I think I had, full size, the packs of, cookies and, Nutter Butters and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I am that person.
Hey, that's fine. But it's always a fun time. The first year that we did it on actual Halloween, because Halloween fell on a Saturday. Yeah. And it was a full moon.
Yeah. That was cool.
I feel like it was a special full moon, but I don't remember which one it was.
I have no idea.
Was there an eclipse? No.
No,
there was something weird about it. There was something different about it, but it was a full moon, and it was just altogether the perfect Halloween night.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, a safer alternative to the kids trick-or-treating.
Nobody was trick-or-treating that year.
Because it was literally the year of COVID.
Yeah.
2020. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a real good time. We had, 29, was it 2019? 2020. 2020.
2020, yeah. Well, no. Maybe your first one was 2019. And then 2020 is when, we really were this is a safer option.
No, because we did it because of...
What is this year? Was this year the third one or the fourth one?
Okay, let me think about my costumes. That's how I keep track with it. Let me think about it. How old is Easton? Easton's 5. The first year...
Is he 5? I thought he was 6.
He is 6.
I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, so we've done... Last year was Peter Pan and Wendy. The year before that was... I was Captain Marvel, and he was Fat Thor. TJ was.
Mm-hmm.
The year... Because all the guys dressed up. TJ dressed up as Fat Thor. Patrick was the Hulk. Easton was Captain America, and so was TJ's dad. And then the year before that, I wore the dress. So this is the 5th year we've done it.
Oh, okay.
Because the year before that we did it, and I just wore the dress that I wore for our witchy photo shoot we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the
And I know that
year.
there's one that I missed, and I don't know why.
You didn't miss, you just didn't stay very long.
Yeah.
It may have been the very first one.
I think it might have been.
You were there, just not...
For very long.
Yeah.
I just don't remember why. Oh.
Because it was on Halloween night.
Oh, I got you. I was going to say, was it Assface's fault?
No.
Just let me blame some other stuff on you.
But no, it's always a real good time. That's my way of celebrating.
Oh, yeah. And I always enjoy it. And I'm super bummed that I got those tickets for Spirit on that night. I didn't even think about it.
It is what it is. It is.
I'll still show up at some point, though.
Well, we'll be there.
But
we do have a soccer game that morning, but it's in the morning, so it allows me all day to get ready instead of rushing in and doing last minute things. And maybe just maybe, was it the very first year that Gemma like overflowed and flooded the bathroom right before everybody got there?
I believe so.
Oh. I still haven't pinned down our Halloween costumes, nothing.
Okay, so speaking of the mulligan, I've kind of been like looking at it. So I guess it's because mulligan is more like a stew. Yeah. It's mulligan stew, but it's goulash. But like this is called jamboree mulligan, and it's like. But yeah, it's basically the same. It's American goulash, but it's I don't know. I guess it comes from somewhere else. I don't know where we got this term, but that's what we always called it.
I've always called it goulash. My mom's goulash is pretty good. A lot of people come to the Halloween party.
There's never leftovers.
No.
No.
And like I like it because like you think of throwing like this big party at your house. And, like, the first year that we did it, there was people there, like, really late.
Yeah.
But for the past couple of years, everybody's gone by, like, 10, 10:30, 11 at the latest. And, like, my kitchen is always cleaned up to the best of its ability. Minus the dishes being done. Everything's cleaned up before everybody leaves completely. And, like, the next morning, I don't have anything really to clean up except for we'll walk around the yard outside and make sure that there's no like candy or candy wrappers, pick up trash and stuff out of the yard that people have accidentally dropped, you know, and there's going to be candy and candy wrappers from the kids, but that's not a big deal.
I like it when they come in the house and all dump their candy in the floor.
In the living room
like they
floor.
all didn't get the same shit.
Right. They just all sit in there and then like, you know, parents have to go through and parent text that stuff and you know, anti-tax, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But
because I've definitely stole some of your kids' candy.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's plenty of it. I don't care. Yeah, take a bunch of it. They're not going to
eat all that.
No, because a lot of it will sit in my kitchen in a bowl for like
a hot minute.
Almost the entire year before I get tired of looking at it and just throw the rest of it away because obviously what's left in there nobody's going to eat.
Right.
So, but yeah, it is a great time. I enjoy it. If you as a listener are one of the few that, you know, get to come and enjoy, let us know.
Yeah.
And tell me how awesome it is.
I like how we took like a 40-minute episode and made it an hour.
Hey, I'm here for it.
And I haven't even talked about my nonprofit yet.
Oh, no.
Healing Flames Forge, Inc. Healing Flames Forge provides a specific group of people with high-stress occupations a place to relieve stress. We use basic blacksmith techniques to provide a therapeutic environment. If our program motivates participants to continue on in the craft, or they get into knife making, those are just extra benefits of the program and the environment we provide. Our overall goal is to provide a sense of accomplishment, enhance mental and physical well-being, and share knowledge and skills that can preserve an ancient art. And if you want to donate, there is a PayPal donation button on their website. Yeah, I saw it I'm pretty sure I saw it in a TikTok video or something, and was like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's something that's different.
Right.
I've got a couple others saved in my phone, too, that I need to dig out. But yeah, so that's I think that's our Samhain episode.
Hope it was awesome for you guys.
Yeah. And
we had fun writing it. And this is the conclusion of our spooky season.
Right.
But,
well, I mean, it's always spooky season on our podcast.
It's always,
but like we save like
Halloween
ultra
in my
spooky
soul
for the spooky months. I think.
Yeah.
Because like I've been waiting, I've been holding on to the Bell Witch just for this.
And so next month we will celebrate our year.
We'll have to figure out a good anniversary episode.
I have an idea. We've talked about it before.
Probably.
I just don't know how we should have started doing it a long time ago. But whatever. But yeah. Follow us and share us out.
Yeah.
With all of your friends. Who are we telling?
I don't know. I already closed that email.
Oh, this is a good one. The trick-or-treaters' parents.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So, when you're sitting out handing out candy for the trick-or-treaters this year, if that's a thing that you do, tell their parents.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, don't let your kids listen to this podcast because they drop the F-bomb sometimes.
Yeah.
And they talk
Especially
about sex
in earlier
toys.
Episodes.
And they talk about sex toys.
Only in one episode.
I mean, they're kind of mentioned sometimes. But anyway, not a kid-friendly environment.
Not by me. I'm an innocent angel.
Oh, my word. And they laugh at farts. So maybe the kids can hear us laugh at farts, but that's all they can listen to. Not safe for work. But yeah, let them know. Hey guys, heard of this podcast, listen to this podcast. You should check it out.
It's pretty cool.
Follow
us on Instagram.
TikTok.
X. Maybe.
Facebook.
Email us.
At wandersweird@gmail.com.
Hopefully this is the last time we do that. Our maturity level has decreased over the evening. So...
Okay. We appreciate you guys. Send us your spooky stories. Let us know what state.
Yeah.
Topics.
Or country.
Yeah. Topics. Send us books or equipment.
Whatever. Like, if you think of something that you're like, I wish they would do like a deep dive on this, send it our way.
Yeah.
Because surely...
Like, we've done listener episodes where, topics that would have been suggested to us. Aleister Crowley.
I don't know. I've got some other things on my list that, like, my sister suggested.
Yeah. If you want another episode, maybe about, somebody that we've talked about before that we know that could come on and talk to us about stuff like we did with my sister for the tarot episode.
Yeah.
Let us know. If you might be interested.
If you have a special topic that you are super knowledgeable about and it's like super niche, hit us up. We might
bring you on.
Yeah, we might have to buy a third microphone.
I didn't even think about that. We got a little bit of space that you could fit in here with us.
I mean, we would probably have to move it to another room. We could do the kitchen table again, but I would have to unplug the filter for the turtle tank this time.
We could fit somebody in right there.
Because it went the whole episode.
We could fit somebody in right there.
If you know what episode that was.
It was a tarot episode.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for... I was going to, say you win nothing, but...
my bad. My bad.
It's fine. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I ruined it. I ruined everything.
It was a terrible episode. So if you feel like re-listening to that...
It was the tarot. Okay. Well, we appreciate you. Be a good human.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.